Hey everyone, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you who came out to FMS this year. Um, it was a huge showing. It was a great success. I've heard nothing but great feedback from all of you, and I just want to thank all of you for coming out and for a bunch of other things. And then I want to talk a little bit about kind of why FMS is expanding this year and what that expansion is going to look like, so everyone's kind of aware of what's coming. I'm just going to give you kind of some highlights of things. But like first and foremost, I really want to take a minute to thank everybody. Obviously there's FMS doesn't happen without some of the great sponsors that we have. Morgan Busby, Morgan has been supporting FMS from the very first year. It's 10 years now. And he supported FMS and just about everything else that we've done. A lot of this stuff wouldn't happen or happen so quickly and easily as it has without Morgan's support. Also Joel, Eric, and Dio over at Leadmark and Inbox Mailers and Sales Agency. Like, you guys have been a huge supporter. I love how you guys come in and do a lot of business. You guys came up with the idea for speed networking a few years ago, and that's been a huge success. And so thank you guys for kind of introducing that to the event and managing it with Andrew Keene. Who's been such a great MC for us. And so Andrew, thank you too, because without you, like, that this would be such a much more stressful event for me, and you really like did a great job. And Mike McDougall's welcome party is kind of legendary at this point. Like, he's really kicking everything off for us every year, and it keeps getting better and better. And this year, over at the restaurant at Coop 303, like that, we had that whole top floor, and we still like we just jammed in there. We were pushing fire code violation there. I think it was amazing to see everybody there. Tim and Emil Berkwin at After Offers have been sponsoring the breakfast for us since, I think almost 10 years now. And so you guys have been fantastic, so easy to work with, and such a great part of the community. So thank you all you guys. And, Jason over at Battle Bank was a new sponsor this year. He came in. I just want to say thanks to those guys. And then to all of you guys who came out and attended. What an amazing kind of community, right? Like, I'm really thankful that you all came. And then on a personal note, thank you to everybody. Like, this was as a lot of now, it kind of got out. I told a few people and it just kind of spread out. This was a very difficult event for me because my mom passed away just a few days before the event. After a couple months of dealing with hospitals for both her and my father, it was a really difficult time. And the amount of warmth and sympathy and compassion from all of you, and just the time you took to say something, to share personal stories, to kind of console like me, I just want you to know it's really appreciated. It really makes it the feeling that I've always had that coming to FMS feels like coming home, much stronger. You guys have been amazing, and I appreciate everything that everyone said to me, and the amount of support that we got. It was also great having my wife and kids there, kind of working. They loved it. The kids loved it. They loved all the great interactions they had with you guys, and so that was fantastic. And so thank you for that. So 2024, let me talk a little bit about kind of what we have planned here, what I'm going to be doing. To me, this has been a big year in terms of transitions this past year. Jamie and I started FMS together, and we kind of gone our separate ways. She's going off and doing great things with Revenue Tree and other things that she's working on, and I'm working on taking FMS and some of the other events that I was doing at Pendry Cannon, and kind of not just consolidating, but I think expanding things in a way that will be very beneficial for all of us, I hope, right? So let me kind of give you a quick teaser of what's coming this year. It's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to get FMS back into January, back into the start of the year, was so that we could kick off the year strong. Everyone gets all their business done here. We get a lot of deals happening, like they're happening all over the place. And leave space in this year for some of the other things that we're going to be doing. So first, you'll be seeing this soon. I'll be launching the online community for FMS. I was going to try and get this together before FMS, but with all the personal kind of stuff and spend the amount of time I had to spend in the hospital, really kind of made me put that on the back burner, unfortunately, before this event. But that's coming. It's going to come fast. My idea here is that I want to build a community that really allows us to continue the kind of deal making that we do at FMS, on an ongoing basis, a very kind of robust community with a lot of participants from the space who are going to kind of step in and work to make it very active, make sure that everyone's getting business. And so watch out for that. That's coming very soon. The other thing that's coming is, as all of you know, I've been talking quite a lot in the last few years about the intersections between publishing and media and capital markets. And I've done a bunch of events going back to 2018, exploring that space, connecting people in that space, looking at the connections between FinPub and financial media and marketing and capital markets. And so this year, what I'm going to do is I'm launching a FMS shareholder acquisition conference. The idea here is to do an FMS that's just focused on the direct to investor marketing world in the capital markets arena, because everything else there is not really that exists. I've done kind of a survey of the space and talked to a lot of people in the space, and I think there's a huge opportunity here for us to take the marketing media world and really cement the conversation around digital media and marketing for capital markets. And this is both for public companies and for crowdfunding and Reg A, the private markets. And there's other areas to expand into, but it's really going to be focused in there. We've talked to a lot of people, both in the ETF world, Pubco world, the crowdfunding world, the platforms, all of that, and in our world. And there's a huge amount of interest in this. I mean, I think our first event is probably going to be much more substantial than I originally planned, which is fantastic. I'm talking to kind of our potential sponsors right now for that event. Had a huge amount of interest on that side. So I'm working on the planning process for that. That's going to be later this year. I think it's going to be as big, if not bigger, than FMS. And that will probably be the event that goes back to London, by the way, for a bunch of other reasons. But that's coming, right? So if you're interested in the intersection of digital marketing and capital markets, then keep an eye out for that, because that's going to be a big thing for us coming forward. And then finally, the third thing, and Zach Westfall, who did an amazing presentation for us and really I think opened a lot of people's eyes to some of the other things that are happening in the digital information marketing world and in other aspects of the trader education space. He mentioned this, that he's going to co-host for me, with me, a mastermind event down in Austin, Texas. So this is part of the mastermind series that I had. We used to call the FinPub Accelerator. I haven't opened the doors on that or really moved that for the last 2 years for a bunch of personal reasons and other things. Obviously, with the state of the industry the previous year, we weren't trying to push a lot of stuff there. I was just trying to help everybody as much as I can on the back end. But that is coming back, but it's coming back with a new vision and a new focus, which I'll get into later. I don't want to go belabor it now, but I am going to be having some events, one in Austin, Texas, co-hosted by Zach and his team down in Austin, from Stocks to Trade and Tim Sykes' businesses. Morgan Busby has also offered to co-host an event. He's always been a great supporter of the accelerator. And I think he said it was something like a bajillion% ROI for him on the accelerator over the years. And Andrew Taylor and I are talking about maybe co-hosting an event down in Baltimore. So all this stuff is coming. I'm going to talk more specifically about why I think that the previous model of just focusing on the newsletter kind of approach and some of the things evolved pretty quickly into a lot of other business development stuff that I did to bring other revenue sources into the industry. And how kind of have a new vision for what we're going to do there on that series, and how it then also kind of functions to connect our space with everybody who's going to be coming through on the shareholder acquisition space event and some of the other spaces. So it's almost like a kind of a cross-industry business development network that's going to happen there, in addition to the kind of let's get down and dirty and gritty into specific marketing things on a more aggressive basis, in the sense that there's a lot more marketing channels, which is one of the big themes of FMS this year. There's a lot more marketing models. There's a lot more fracturing in what works, from software to trader education, phone sales, publishing. The space is expanding, but it's expanding in kind of a multivariate way. And so we're going to delve into what's working across all those channels really deeply in that group as well. Watch out for that. That's going to be coming. But so FMS is expanding. I've kind of had this vision of where the really where digital publishing and media is going, both in terms of the subscription side of the business and in terms of its intersections with other aspects of capital markets and finance. We've seen that 10, $15 billion increase over the years here in digital ad spend on the finance side. We want to capture more of that value for everyone here. I think there's a lot of ways for people to make money, both on the subscription and product side, that is unexploited, and a lot more advertising and media money to come into the space in a lot of positive ways, and a lot more just varied deals. So watch out for that. 2024 will mark a very major expansion in the FMS kind of ecosystem, in my other kind of brand, which is Pendry Cannon, which has been hosting a lot of these things. We'll be bringing those things together for everyone's benefit. Obviously, if you're not interested in all of these things, because not everybody is, you're not going to be forced to have to deal with any of it. But for those of you who are interested in all that stuff, like, there's going to be a lot more to do, a lot more opportunities, and more ways to do business. And so with that, I just want to, say thanks again for making FMS 24 such a spectacular success. Thanks again for all your support, and thanks for coming in and doing business with each other and making the event a great success for hopefully everyone else. I know I owe a lot of people some emails still and some follow-ups. I did take a few days off to grieve, have the funeral, and spend time with family. But I'm back online and getting back into it, and so I'll be reaching out to a lot of you guys now. So again, thanks, and I can't wait to see you guys again. Take care.